Alright guys, so I hope you're doing fine as always. Today I'm making a new video about this CRO USDT trade that I took. It's a 5-hour trading setup. So I did record my charts live when I was looking for this setup, so without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. Alright, so now for the actual TA part of the video, I'm on the 1-hour time frame on the CRO USDT chart, and we start by throwing out the first things that we see. So on the 1-hour time frame, this is this fair value gap and then the liquidity zones. So these are the two things that are really jumping out on this chart right now. And then this vector candle, of course. But as we are in a bullish sentiment, we're looking for a long setup. So first of all, we draw the things we see on the bottom side. So the fair value gap and liquidity zone. Then we go to the lower time frames and the 15-minute time frame. Here we see this fair value gap is pretty much filled already, so there's no more fair value gap left on the 15-minute time frame. Maybe a very small bit here, but that's not really to be something to take in consideration. So then we also draw this small liquidity zone over here on the 15-minute time frame. We go to the 5-minute time frame. Here we see our EMAs are all really close together. So we're checking a bit further. We see a vector candle, but it's too far away. As we're looking for a long setup, we're zooming out a little bit. So now what we see here is this, in this structure, is we had this very big drop when Bitcoin was dropping really hard. We had a retracement, and from there on alts were suffering a bit as Bitcoin was really not doing much. Alts were suffering, the dominance was going up, but from here we're seeing some new strength being formed. So we do have this rally up, we do have the retracement into an accumulation, so we can really expect the next big move to happen anytime soon. So we draw out our top side liquidity, as this is a very interesting zone for me, as we tap it once, twice, 3 times and 4 times. So we did tap this area 4 times, so we can expect there's quite a bit of liquidity sitting there, and we can expect that they want to take out this liquidity zone. So that's a great target for us. So like I said, we're looking for a long setup. So now we need to look for an entry. So what do we see here on the 5-minute time frames? We do have this fair value gap sitting here. On very local movement, we do have this move up, a retracement into the 200 EMA, which more than likely is also a FIB retracement, and a bounce from there. So what we want to see, as we are in a accumulation and a bullish structure overall, we can consider this a local low, a local high, a new local low, but a higher low. So we want to see a higher high getting formed, but a small retracement into the fair value gap would be really great to see here, to then jump off from there. So we draw out our fair value gap, we look for a long position with an entry in this fair value gap. Our TP target is the liquidity on the top side, and we put our stop loss below our 50 EMA cloud, as we do expect prices to reach into the fair value gap and shoot from there. So we do have a fair value gap, and we have the 50 EMA in this fair value gap, so we have two types of confluence here. So we want to see some type of support on the 50 EMA, and we want the fair value gap to be filled, so that's really important. Two confluences there. This might also be a FIB retracement level. So that's pretty much everything that's to this trade. Reason the stop loss is just below this 50 EMA is if we break it, chances are really high we will go back down all the way to the bottom side liquidity. So we want to get stopped out early and look for a re-entry around these two liquidity zones over here. So that's everything to this trades. So now we can jump straight into the outro where we have a quick look about this trade in hindsight. Alright, so now what can we tell about this trade in hindsight? So first of all, the screenshot of the trade. We have our entry at 0.1722, 0.1722, exit price at 0.17607, 0.17607. So this is a total of 28% ROI, but that doesn't matter. Most important thing is this is a 5R trade. So now first let's check quickly if this was a fib retracement where we were talking about earlier. So from a local low to a local high, you can see we did have a retracement into the 0.5 fib level. This might even also be a retracement on our entry. Let's have a quick look. Local low to local high. We could see we also retraced into our golden zone here. So that's also an extra form of confluence. I personally didn't check it, but you can see it's a small retracement. So if we zoom out further, you can see it did probe through the liquidity zone. It went up quite far. Let's see, the trade was already from the beginning of the week, so they really went up and recovered all these vectors. You could say you could target this, which is very valid, but then it would be more of a swing trade or a swing setup. You will need a bigger stop loss most unlikely. We just went for a scalp in this scenario, and we did reach a 5R, which I don't think we can or should complain about. You can always aim for the stars, but if you want to put a scalp, you really want to get out of the trade fast, you gotta stick to your TPs. You can't look too far away, otherwise it will become a swing trade. So that's pretty much everything that there is to say about this trade. So as always, if there are any more questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section or on the Discord server, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care and see ya. Bye bye.